got duped by a Reddit post. You saw something on Reddit and it clicked for you because you want to fucking hate me. That's it. That's so fucking sad, dude. That is so sad. Subhuman is crazy. It's not crazy. You have literally dehumanized yourself. You have reduced yourself to something less than a human being. Okay? Oh, you cannot maintain a slave society nor an apartheid one without extraordinary levels of dehumanizing racism. Of course, those next level S-tier races are going to fear retributive actions because they don't expect their victims to be humans who will feel relief when the terror they are subjected to ends. Instead, they can't help but imagine their victims will be inhuman, retributive monsters. Yes. Chad, Hasan has actually interacted with this person. You have not. Is your plan to make this unwatchable? Yes.
It targets, in my opinion. My only crime is wanting a
Yeah, my only crime is just wanting a two-state solution. Don't spout Zionist discourse, then shrug. You're just showing you're a Zionist, Ethan. People shrug. Why would this be a bad thing? Why would this be a bad inference to make? All you're showing in this fucking video is that they were right. My moderation team was fucking right. They were right from the goddamn jump. And I thought, because I knew you personally, that maybe I could change your fucking mind. And I was wrong. It turns out those people made the correct assessment about you, Ethan. And you couldn't give up on that. You could not let that fucking go. Oh, it's because I'm Jewish. No, dumbass. It's because you're doing propaganda for Israel. And I tried to kindly and gently in private conversations explain that to you. People don't know you like that. So, of course, they're going to make these fucking inferences that you're pro-Israel because you sound like Ben Shapiro when you talk about fucking Israel. So you should have understood it back then. You should have been an open-minded person back then, taking some accountability, maybe taking a fucking step back on the issue and either never talked about Israel-Palestine ever again, or at the very least do some fucking reading. And I don't mean getting talking points from 60-year-old stalkers of mine that are fucking podcast co-hosts of Destiny to try and win an argument when you can't even fucking functionally win the argument in the eyes of most people online. So you have to crawl back to your fucking hug box of psychopathic right-wing perverts and keep posting on your Instagram stories about Tucker Carlson's daily caller operation, writing articles about me being bad. You fucking suck.
Instead of one, and thinking it's not okay to kill Israeli civilians. That's it. That's why they're calling me a Nazi Zionist. And because of Hasan and others spreading this malicious lie about my beliefs, I'm even getting harassed on the street.
So how come you don't like Palestine?
Dude, this was also fucking insane. This was also insane. This fucking clout shark freak, he attributed this to me. He admitted that I don't fucking know this guy, and he lied about it. He put it in his fucking context, Nuke, acting like this is a fan of mine. This motherfucker then turned around the other day and lied and was like, no, dude, I was a fan of Hasan. He's such an obvious fucking clout shark, you dumbass. You don't care. This dude is a real fucking anti-Semite too, by the way. He's a Sneeko fan. He's a Holocaust denier, but it doesn't matter. Ethan, as long as someone gives him the affirmation, he will literally place them above everybody else. Place them above people that he's known for fucking years, whether it's iDubbbz or even place them above someone like myself, who is infinitely more knowledgeable on this issue. He will literally use a guy that he fucking used in his podcast as an anti-Semite, as the only pro-Palestinian type of person that's out there, to make it seem like this is how the pro-Palestinian position looks like. A guy who fucking stalked him in public, to make it seem as though this was a fan of mine. Here's my first interaction with him on stream.
Pothead or pot man. Is that it? Hey.
I could be on. Are you guys doing interviews? I'm Palestinian. I know I look Jewish. I'm Palestinian.
Oh, no, we're just streaming.
Israeli. I look like Israeli.
We're just the guy. Normally the answer would be yes, but he's busy.
Dude, every single one that was there with me, Lol Overruled, March, and Cinemarxism, who's there as well, we all thought this guy was a fucking freak. We didn't know who the fuck he was. He didn't know who the fuck we were. Okay?
Right now.
What are you guys doing? What kind of content?
We're just streaming. It's live stream.
Oh, live streaming?
Yeah.
Dude. Twitter, bro. You guys on Twitter?
Yeah. Yeah.
You get viral there sometimes or no?
Sure.
I'm just curious, bro. I'm just like,
I'm
a content creator too, bro.
Sure.
I do content.
Sick.
I'm trying to make content, but I don't know.
Even their subreddit called this freak out, Dating and Money 101 on Hasan's UCLA stream protest. He didn't pass the vibe check. I think I looked gay in that one. I remember watching this live and was like, what the fuck's this dude's deal? March behind the camera, kept trying to signal Hasan that this dude was odd, was saying unhinged shit and just being a nuisance. I would have never guessed this dude would come back to my lore in the universe like this. Too fucking funny. So what's up, love? When are we dancing? Interesting. So Ethan Klein's subreddit was actually, before it turned into this like fucking fuck Hasan operation, before it turned into a snark subreddit, was actually infinitely more understandable and more amenable to my position. Oh my God. Yeah, you're my hero to Hasan, 90130. After that, oh, you're a communist? Dude who had no idea who he was. Probably just looked up who's streaming from there and went for some clout. That's an important piece of context. And you'd assume Payment Spiritual just didn't see that context until you found out he's a Destiny fan. DGG are so unbelievably bad faith and obsessed with Hasan. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Hamas Pecker. Hasan tried to get fellow streamer to support terrorists, but failed. Infested with these fucking little freaks, these cretins, all over the goddamn subreddit, all up and down, dude. Look at that. And your community, Ethan, used to actually fucking call this shit out. And then you banned every single person that called it out because you wanted a hug box that would make you feel good. And these guys use you like a goddamn cum sock, for the record. Okay? They use you. They think you're fucking stupid. And quite honestly, you might be. You were stupid enough to fucking throw away all of your friends for how horny you were to defend Israel. And now you're getting manipulated by the dumbest, most autistic fan base on the fucking planet. Okay? Weaponization of autism through and fucking through. And they are literally all crawling up and down your fucking walls. Now they're going to clip this and be like, Hasan is being ableist, as a matter of fact. No, my community is the second most autistic. Okay? Hey, that's us, not them. Yeah. We need to level up our autism. I'm going to be doing extra vaccines. That's an important piece of context, and you'd assume Payment Spiritual just didn't see that context until you find out he's a Destiny fan. DGG are so unbelievably bad faith and obsessed with Hasan. This was 8 months ago. The subreddit has changed dramatically since then. I highly doubt that this guy understands the difference between communism and liberalism. I think he just assumes everyone is on the left and the same as Hasan is on the left. The one I don't think get is how he likes Hasan and Sneeko and him and have major beef and disagree on everything except for Palestine. Yeah, the dude literally looked up who the fuck I was because he realized that I was on camera, and then he came back and acted like a fan. He's a cloud chaser. He was weird and gross. Everybody fucking there hated his vibes, and that's precisely what happened. And Ethan knows that that's precisely what happened, at least now. But, you know, no retractions there. I mean, I guess I did get a retraction out of him in the conversation because he tried to fucking use this guy. What? I'm going to assume, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt when you call that child a subhuman and assume you mean inhumane. Subhuman is dehumanizing slur by the Nazis to dehumanize Jewish people. Not every fucking pejorative is about Jewish people. What the fuck are you saying, dude? The reach of the fucking day, dude. The woke Olympics. Dude, none of this shit works, by the way. I'm just letting you know. Don't do this fucking... I'm actually being cautious for you because the optics of this is really bad. Like, no, dude. You're only in here to fucking get this clip so you can get a response out of me and then clip it and be like, see, Hasan was doing dangerous anti-Semitism again. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? That's not even woke, that's just trolling. Yeah, that's not even a thing. Oh my God. The communities of some of the most offensive, toxic, and racist human beings on the planet are currently woke scolding you. I know. They get in here to be like, well, you know, I want to be a white guy that says the N-word, but also at the same time, I'm just going to sit here and be like, well, subhuman is actually a dangerous anti-Semitic slur.
Palestine?
No, you don't.
Why do you say that?
Because, bro, you're... wasn't she in the IDF?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Mandatory service.
That's
She's born
sad.
there.
That's terrorism, bro.
She was born there.
That's sad. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a rapist,
Bro,
man.
look in the fucking...
You look like a fucking rapist, Ethan. Feel bad for you guys. Ethan Klein, bro, you're ugly as fuck, bro. You're ugly as shit. You look like a...
Yeah, yesterday he shouted this guy out with his Insta handle, by the way, and he said justice for his @ on his Instagram. You want to know why he did that? You want to know why he did that? Hasan, you say subhuman a lot. It's not a good look. I'm going to keep saying that. I don't care. Shut the fuck up, please. Enough. Enough. You're doing the thing. You're doing the thing. You're doing the thing where you hyper focus on something that is not a real relevant issue only to give ammunition to fucking haters to make it seem as though this is actually a bigger deal because you just can't. You've been in here for 6 hours and you're bored and you want to narcissistically make yourself the center of the conversation. And you know that if you say something woke enough, that I'm probably going to respond to it because it's going to piss me the fuck off. I unbanned you. Behave. Why is he giving him the one thing he wants the most? Clout? Because Ethan will use anyone and everyone as a weapon. He says he cares about anti-Semitism, but he's aligned with the likes of quartering. Okay? He says he cares about anti-Semitism. He's aligned with he thinks I'm mean about his wife. He's aligned with guys like Nicholas Eat Oreos, who has called Gila a fucking horse over and over again. He's aligned himself with Keemstar, who has also called Gila a horse over and over again. I've never disrespected his wife like that. I've simply called into question why she defends Israel so vociferously, okay, while simultaneously showing the inconsistency of calling Rashid, which is going to be another part of this fucking context puke, obviously, in a little bit. Rashid, who is a fucking 19-year-old in Yemen that he falsely claims is a fucking Houthi rebel soldier terrorist, when his wife, by his own estimation, would be a terrorist in the West Bank. And a valid military target in his own estimation. Anyway, we're moving on from this shit. This guy's a fucking delusional loser, okay? And he's a Sneeko fan and probably a fucking Holocaust denier. I know Sneeko is a Holocaust denier. And guess what, dude? He seemingly backtracked on calling the IDF a terror organization.
They take me.
Oh, wow. That's funny. Okay. Yeah. Remember. Yeah, was that Yemeni firefighter you showed earlier a terrorist? Yeah, according to Ethan, he is, because he said fucking strike Tel Aviv. So for Ethan, that firefighter is now a Houthi rebel, okay? Now, this fucking dipshit, okay? This goddamn dipshit is a clout-chasing ass loser who's literally using the issue of Palestine to fucking chase clout. So his stupid ass dating and money coaching seminars can actually get can actually launch off the ground. Okay? That's his only goal here. That's the only thing he wants to do. But of course, for Ethan, that's enough to be like, well, this guy is the average Hasan fan. He harasses me in broad daylight. What the fuck kind of disgusting nonsense is this? How ridiculous to do this, especially when his fans are actually loyal Fedayeen that go out and under his directive and under his watchful gaze, go out and harass people in public. Okay? Yeah, Ethan had no issues debating this fucking dipshit on his own podcast and platforming him because it was a fun way to basically belittle pro-Palestinians. This is the only guy who he has brought forward as a pro-Palestinian figurehead onto his fucking podcast. And then I guess Bonerbox, who literally has talked about sniping jobs, who has absolutely become such an aggressive Destiny dick rider that he just basically repeats whatever the fuck Destiny's saying, even though, to my knowledge, I thought that he no longer actually fucked with Destiny because, you know, Destiny actually did horrifying things to his ex-girlfriend. So, I don't know. There's current litigation happening in that process, I thought. But, yeah. Lonerbox, who I was so fucking charitable to as well because I saw some of his earlier videos. Also, here he is admitting that this person is an anti-Semitic Sneeko fan and not a Hasan fan. Why did he actually present this guy as an anti-Semitic Sneeko fan, which he is, by the way? But then in the context, Nuke, he very quickly says this is a Hasan fan. Why? Because he came up to me at a fucking pro-Palestinian rally, figured out who I was to try to get a fucking a quote out of me for his dumbass dating show, and it was very obvious that we were grossed out by him. And if you actually truly thought that this was a repulsive figure that should not be highlighted, why the fuck did you actually praise him? Why does your subreddit praise him? Why? I know why. Because he gave you what you wanted. He literally came out and said, oh, I'm actually a Hasan fan. He gave you what you wanted. You could use it to your advantage. So you fucking literally hyped him up again. You gave him the one thing that he wanted, clout. Here is your stalkers, on the other hand, your actual stalkers, on the other hand, which ironically from my stalker account, which he highlights all the fucking time, harassing Dan Clancy.
Hey Dan, do you have any comment on why you won't let Ethan Klein stream on your platform?
He is
the
streaming on
Hasan
the platform.
content nuke?
He is.
Why he got banned twice?
It got reversed.
It got reversed, but it was like it was not an automatic ban. Do you have any comment on that?
No comment.
No comment? All right, good to know.
Yeah. Classic. Ethan then turned around. Ethan turned around and literally fucking posted this, as you can see, in his Instagram story. Okay? Yeah, go and do this. Go and do this, brave citizen journalist. Girly Pop Nation is out of fucking control, dude. Holy shit. Imagine if I posted someone going up to Ethan in broad daylight, or going up to Dan, okay? Going up to anybody like this. And then post it on my Instagram story, be like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, dude. Stick it to the man. There are people in positions of power that actually do wrong, okay? Dan is a CEO. He can handle it. I'm not going to fucking defend the CEO of the goddamn platform. But the reality of the matter is, this kind of fucking personal vendetta that you are putting on your audience is setting a dangerous precedent. You and the way you use your community is incredibly fucking dangerous, okay? You should show him these things and he ignores them. iDubbbz explains he got harassed, but he said nothing about it. Yeah, he doesn't care. He thinks it's not harassment.
He got scared. He got spooked. KKK Clancy, that's right.
Like, that's crazy, dude. KKK Clancy. When Ethan was claiming on numerous videos that Twitch was an incredibly deeply anti-Semitic platform, okay? Because they had made, like, insane shit, like unbanning Sneeko. Insane, right? Sneeko is obviously a Holocaust denier. He is an incredibly anti-Semitic person. He's delusional, right? And he was like, oh, dude, Twitch is so anti-Semitic. They actually fucking, they actually had they unbanned Myron Gaines or something. It's like, bro, he's on your platform. He's on YouTube. Why don't you fucking criticize YouTube? It's your platform. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? None of this shit makes sense.
One more time, because it...
Great job.
I feel like he's angry too. You can sense
You
it.
can sense
Yeah.
that like people have been driving him crazy with this topic or something.
Oh, he hates me.
But great job to this girl.
Absolutely. I don't know who this is, but shout outs to this.
Looks like she's in chat because there's one person saying that's my video.
Oh, we love you, girly.
Yeah, yeet the goat. Let's go. This dude, if you look through his fucking tweets, it's like a 16-year-old loser who fucking hangs out and like talks about lolly porn with Sex Pestiny and Dan Stalkman, okay? And on his cake streams, and his community is cherishing this fucking guy. Amazing. Anyone that stalks or engages in predatory behavior at the behest of Ethan will get cherished, okay? The irony is, while he does all this shit, he wants everyone to denounce things that are happening to him that I have nothing to do with. He has no evidence that I've done anything to him with respect to like a CPS call. He has no evidence that my community did something like that. But he still said everyone on the internet did the CPS call to him. I don't even know. I don't know what the fuck happened. Why would I know anything about that? Why would I have anything to do with that? Snarkers called CPS on me, he says. And then when I engage him on that and I say, hey, what the fuck? What are you doing over there? What's going on? What do you mean? The snarkers who I don't even have a fucking direct association with, that I have no control over, are mostly your fans, your former fans, are doing this to you. Do you have any evidence for that? He's like, nah, I don't. I don't know who did it. Yeah, this is the fucking community that he is the head moderator of, by the way. Yeet. This. Islam contributed to one damn thing for humanity over 1,400 years. It's like a straight up fucking 4chan community. He loves this shit. Ethan calls Yeet my boy.
The bane of the all existence. My boy, Yeet.
I mean, for the record, he is not even... he's not even as relevant as a dog shit that I would step on the side of the road. But, you know, keep bigging him up, I guess, big guy.
The Twitter god.
Yeet is like doing some crazy work.
I'm trying to find... Oh, here. Here it is. Or Awk 2000, but he just goes by Yeet with the crying, laughing emoji. Hasan hates this account.
Yeah. He's one of the mods, and this is his alt account. Pompous blacktivists think if they can throw out a bunch of bullshit questions and claim claims really fast and aggressive tone of voice, that the content of those claims doesn't matter. This is how you end up getting to the point of walking back Israel's dropping nukes on Gaza. The M word is, of course, uncensored in the original post that he posted. Dan Stalkman, once again, prominent DGG content creators, prominent DGG stalkers, all together. They have literally Twitter communities dedicated to stalking all progressive content creators, and Ethan is firmly invested in that and is shouting them out, including shouting out the person who fucking stalked the CEO of Twitch. Okay? Yeah, they're calling Nick DiOrio Saint Nick on the show. Nick DiOrio called Gila a fucking horse for years. Okay? He made YouTube videos on Ethan's decline for years. But the moment that they're like on board with what Ethan is doing, he turns around and he's like, "You're the best. I love you." That's all it takes. I'm willing to bet tomorrow if Ethan put the crosshairs on someone else or I said, "You know what? My bad. I was wrong. I love you. You're the GOAT." He would literally turn around and fucking forget all of the smears, forget everything he said about me, and would gladly have me on his side. That's it. He does not care. And I brought this up yesterday. When talking about the double standard here, because he very clearly does not give a shit. He very clearly does not give a shit about anti-Semitism, right? Yeah, being obsessed. After denying being obsessed with Hasan, Ethan Klein spent his day off today creating a dedicated Instagram story highlight reel about Hasan on his page. It contains over 50 Instagram stories crying about Hasan over the year. He now appears to be spending his day off watching Hasan stream, live reacting to the coverage. Incredible. Yeah. Here's a list of Ethan Klein's allies. Tectone, Asmongold, Destiny, Keemstar, Dan Saltman, Nick Eat the Oreo, Sam Hyde, The Quartering, XC Steiny. Did I miss anyone? The Quartering. He's done multiple content nukes on Keemstar, but he doesn't give a fuck because Keemstar is now on board. He deleted the highlight after the post. Oh, he felt fucking embarrassed. Is that what happened? Yeah. Dan Stalkman, by the way, who very famously threatened to blackmail everyone in Destiny's community for calling him out for doing sex crimes, okay? For being a fucking sex pest. And not only that, but Dan Stalkman, who has been a fucking insane stalker of mine, who's admitted to like lying about me and defaming me over and over again. If Ethan actually cared about anti-Semitism, he would probably be a little bit more careful with who he is aligned with, right? It doesn't fucking matter. It would be akin to someone like myself. If I was a morally inconsistent charlatan in the same way that Ethan is, who only cares about fucking drama and have no real political convictions, for example, it would be as though I am aligned with the likes of Myron Gaines from Fed and Fat, or Candace Owens, or Sneeko. Those people all hate Ethan, and they're anti-Semitic. Do you see me aligning with them? Myron Gaines was in my fucking replies for months, begging to collab, begging to be like, dude, please. Now, do you finally understand how the Jews are? How the Jews are like? Just figure it out, bro. Figure it out. This is just how the Jews are like. And I never gave him a fucking moment because he is a disgusting little anti-Semite and a bigot of every different variety, as a matter of fact. Ethan's allegiance with some of the worst reactionaries online simply because they hate me is so odd because it directly undermines his position of someone combating anti-Semitism. It would be like if I hyped up Bilzerian, Fresh and Fit, Sneeko, or Clandis because they hate H3 or Israel. So yeah, that's also stupid and inconsistent. Holy fuck, I've spent too much time on this shit. All right, let's get back to the goddamn video. I'm gonna keep this clip. I'm gonna keep referring to this clip every now and then.
Hamas, the governing fucking body there wants to kill all the fucking Jews. Anything is fair game for the Jews. Anything. And I'm sorry, but Hamas, there frankly are a lot of Palestinians, right, in the area. And once the Palestinians outnumber the Jews, basically, anything is fair game for the Jews.
Yeah. Yeah, he sees it as a genocide, though. He thinks the genocide should end, except Hamas command centers under hospitals here.
War, not fucking keeping hostages and underground and like sending, just continuing to provoke Israel to attack them. And putting fucking like military complexes under hospitals. You know, Hamas's design from the beginning is to get as many people killed as possible.
Is this Bezalel Smotrich? Is this Benjamin Netanyahu? Or is this Ethan Klein? Is this Itamar Ben-Gvir? Or is this Ethan Klein? These motherfuckers are LARPing so hard. Yeah, I know. This is the fucking psychopathic DGG, the Wikipedia that he relied on heavily for this context, Nuke.
Act like they're so tough. Oh, I'm American. Oh, you don't even run your own country. You don't run your own country, bro. You don't run your own country. A foreign country named Israel runs your country.
Have you ever found? Wow. And then he puts this clip in here where he comes up to me to try to take a photo with me. Wow. Wow. Remember when he fucking had to admit that this person, I didn't know who the fuck he was, and then he was some dumbass clout chaser? Is there actually a video of me saying that Israel or Jews run America? Is there actually a video of me saying that? No, there isn't, which is precisely why a random fucking dipshit clout chaser that came up to me at a fucking pro-Palestinian rally is enough to make that point for you. Wow.
Oh my God, bro. I love you, Hasan. Can I give you a hug, bro?
I'm so sweaty, bro.
I love you, bro.
I'm so sweaty.
I love you, bro. I have to interview you. You're like my hero, bro. I love you, bro. You're the coolest guy in the world, bro. Hold on, I think I look gay in that one. Hold on.
Okay, 3, 2, 1.
Hold on, I think I look gay in that one. Hold on.
Okay.
It's the funny thing about me. I don't like terrorism, and I don't like terrorists.
Yes, you do. You're married to one, as by your own admission. You said, not me. You said it. Post context Nuke, though. So,
if they're Jews, Christians, Muslims, they're all bad. What is terrorism? It's intentionally targeting civilian population for political goals. I don't like it. None of it. And over time, I started to learn that my co-host, he really likes terrorists.
They do musicals. They're very musical people.
Are you being serious?
Dog, what do you look? You think I made this?
This isn't music. I know they're singing, but I'm seeing just guns and shit. This isn't a music video, Hasan.
This conversation is so funny and so informative because the average person's perspective on this shit, the average person's perspective on this is literally going to be like, yeah, what the fuck is this? Okay. And it was an incredibly informative and enlightening conversation that took place with myself and Nick Pollum, okay, where I described to him pretty much the entirety of the conflict up until this very moment. And yes, the Houthis are a fucking musical people, for the record. And we are officially at $137,000, by the way. In a matter of a couple hours, we've already raised $137,000. But let's keep going. Taking over these ships, they started targeting the ships.
People on this helicopter right now?
Yes.
They're streaming this?
Yeah. Yeah. They're flexing.
What? And they're coming in hot with guns.
Yeah, but you have to understand, this is a deterrence. We think the Houthis, Ansar Allah, is doing what Luffy would do. You should tell him that.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
So at any point, does he actually talk about why this is unacceptable? Like what I'm saying is like fucked up? Because luckily, I already had a conversation with Ethan and you already know what that conversation looked like, considering that I was able to describe to him what my perspective is on the matter. But I assume that a lot of this just relies on the audience also being terrified of these scary Arabic sounding names and the fact that they're all like ISIS. They're ISIS. They're basically ISIS. It's like this guy keeps saying it's all ISIS. These guys are ISIS. He relies completely on Western chauvinism and the audience also having the same exact perspective that Nick Pollum had when he first encountered the conversation. Yeah, also, did he put a fucking ISIS flag on Luffy? Bro, the Ansar Allah and Hamas and Hezbollah are all directly belligerents against ISIS. They're directly belligerents against Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda and ISIS are closely associated with a country, especially for the Houthis in Yemen, a country that has directly funded Al-Qaeda and operated Al-Qaeda militants in Yemen is Saudi Arabia. Okay, Saudi Arabia is closer to ISIS. America and Saudi Arabia are closer to ISIS than the fucking Houthis are. The Houthis are against ISIS. It's literally, the entire video is basically just going fucking Arabs over and over and over again. These countries have not actually fought. These countries or these militant groups have not fought one another in the eyes of Ethan Klein. They're all one big Arab Muslim contingency. Okay, they're all Arabs. They're all Arabs. It's just, that's what it is. It's just Arabs. It's just a bunch of fucking Arabs. The fucking Arabs that made the Jews Zionist. The fucking Arabs that are fighting one another, but actually I don't even know if they're fighting one another. They're just the same. Okay? This is crazy. You should tell him that.
Hezbollah is a paramilitary organization.
Do we like them or no?
I don't have an issue with them, let's just say. But they are a terrorist organization. Like they're designated. They are designated by the American state as a terrorist organization.
I do not like them then.
Well,
he is regarded as a pretty brilliant a person in terms of like everything that he's done.
Then I saw clips like,
dude. Is there any point where he addresses anything I said? He's just fucking clipping shit back and forth. That's what it is, bro. I'm gonna keep it $150. Hasan Nasrallah, he will probably, I think he uses like fake quotes of Hasan Nasrallah in this context, puke, and he doesn't even do enough. He doesn't even do enough to actually show what I was literally referencing there. My point there was a lot of people see people like Hasan Nasrallah. Okay. And they see, oh, big bearded guy, scary, not realizing that he's actually an incredibly fucking well-read person who, ironically enough, you're being obtuse, Hasan. No, I'm not being obtuse. You have to make an argument. You can't just let the argument be, look at him. He loves terrorism. You have to actually address what I'm saying, why what I'm saying is wrong, why what these guys are doing is wrong. Okay, if you don't do that, you're simply relying on dumb fucks like you in believing in the most Asmongoaldian fashion, in the notion that like every single thing that these guys have done is wrong. They're terrorists. What the fuck are you talking about? They're terrorists. They're terrorists. They're terrorists. They're all ISIS. They're all just like ISIS. Scary Muslims that are just like ISIS. Yeah. You know who else said Hasan Nasrallah was brilliant? Fucking Benjamin Netanyahu.
He didn't go just yet. Wait. I was particularly impressed by the fact that not only was he a capable leader, but also that his relationship with Iran was somewhat different from what I thought. I would say
Anyway, here's the context. A lot of these dudes, you see them in their fucking fits, and you hear about like some of their attitudes about like gay people, for example, and you immediately fucking resort to Orientalist perspectives, not realizing that these motherfuckers are better read than you by a million. Okay? Like, it's not a broken clock situation. No, dude. Half of these dudes literally get educated in America and in the UK. What the fuck are you guys talking about? This is why it's Orientalist to literally look at these dudes and go, oh no, they're fucking barbaric baboons. And like sometimes they get this shit right. No, dude, he knows. It's crazy. Yeah. You know what's really ironic? The clip that I'm watching here of Hasan Nasrallah is Hasan Nasrallah talking about how some Arabs are anti-Semitic, and they're stupid for being anti-Semitic. They think Israel is controlling America. Israel used to be a tool at the hands of the British, and now Israel is a tool at the hands of America. We do not just oppose Israel, we oppose American imperialism. That is the actual clip that I'm reacting to. Okay? Yeah, also, here, there's a debunking from Chris Kunzler, The Confused Zionism of Ethan Klein, which is a great video, by the way. I highly recommend. Friend of the show, Chris Kunzler. Okay? Hold on. Where the fuck was I? Oh, my God. I'm all over the place.
This, where Hasan is explaining how he's hiding his power level to funnel in normies into radicalization.
I think that in the short term, in order to combat against that, you have to advocate for a much lighter form of propaganda. You want America, in the way that I feel about it, and if you want America to get out of the way.
Bro, I'm not hiding my power level. I'm not hiding my power level at all. Do you have an issue with this? This is not secret. It's on a podcast. Why would I be hiding? Why would I, if I'm hiding my power level, why am I saying it openly on a podcast? Are you fucking stupid? Does nobody ever think anything through? You don't have to know anything about me. But when you exercise just a crumb of critical thinking, shouldn't this look weird on its face? Like, I'm literally broadcasting what I do. I work to de-radicalize people, okay? Right-wingers, I want to pull away from the throes of right-wing radicalization. And for liberals, I want them to understand that liberalism is not the end-all be-all, that there are real systemic problems that we must solve. This is not something that I hide. This is something that I openly mention all the fucking time. And I'm literally not hiding it here. You can't say I'm hiding my power level when I'm broadcasting it. This doesn't make any sense. The program that I'm on is literally called Deprogram. And this is not even something that is a secret that I only revealed here for one moment. It's something that I tell my audience all the time. In order to be a better advocate, you have to read the fucking room. Okay? You have to read the room. Be normal. These are commonly held principles that I have to fucking hammer onto the heads of all these like weirdos in my community from time to time. It's not a hiding of the power level. If it was, then why would I fucking do it on a podcast?
For places with more revolutionary potential to do what they would normally do, I think that, you know, one thing you have to do is advocate for a lighter form while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes.
I had a show when I was on the Young Turks, and that show was called agitative propaganda, agitprop for short, okay? That is propaganda to instill class consciousness in Americans so that Americans who think trans people are fucking them over, for example, are actually that are forced to reckon with the reality that it's actually not trans people that are fucking them over. It's not Mexicans that are fucking them over. It's their capital owners, their bosses that are fucking them over, their landlords that are fucking them over. This is a pretty basic concept. When I go on Theo Von, for example, and I tell Theo Von, you know, it's not a trans person that's your landlord. A trans person didn't raise your fucking rent. Your landlord raised your rent. So why are you mad at that trans person? That's deprogramming. That's agitative propaganda. That is instilling class consciousness in a lot of Americans that lack it. Okay? This is not a secret. I am very open about both my biases and my goals. Okay? I never fucking hide it. Why would I hide it? I'm not hiding it in this situation either. And what's the argument here? You did a fucking political podcast with me for 2 goddamn years. Are you saying that you're the dumbest person on the planet? Is this a 21-minute video where in the first 21 minutes, you basically explained to everybody that as a 40-year-old man, you were such a fucking dumb moron that like everything that I told you came in from one ear and out the other? Is that what you're saying? Because there's only 2 options here. Either you are a dumbass and you're saying I got groomed into believing certain things by this scary man who has radical opinions, or you're disingenuously making it seem that way so you can propagandize to the remainder of your fan base that you want to desperately hold on to, that they shouldn't trust someone like myself and they should instead trust your acumen, trust your knowledge. In this video where you've, presented a bunch of fucking falsehoods and demonstrated that a lot of the underlying reasons for why you think Israel must exist in the way that it does is because you're an Islamophobic, racist, anti-Arab piece of shit. Crazy. Maybe it's a bit of both, I think. He's both dumb and also disingenuous.
Beyond,
Right.
social democratic idea.
I just wanted to put emphasis on the exact point of the so-called radicalization funnel where, for example, Hasan and JT catch them while they're young, as they say, and then they start looking into this new idea, etc., and then move forwards through the funnel, get more...
You should have told him this on that debate. Brother, I didn't watch this video before the debate. I didn't know he was making this idiotic shit.
More informed, get more and more radicalized. You do your part in the funnel for the cause, or whatever the fuck you want to call it. You're doing, in my modest opinion, a great thing for the cause.
Now listen to Hasan during our very first conversation lie to me about how he's a social democrat to hide his power level.
We should move towards a Sweden-style economy or a Norway-style economy, which would be a social democracy.
You have to advocate for a much...
Really interesting. This is the first conversation I ever had with Ethan on a podcast. Does anyone have the actual clip? Because this looks a little weird. Okay? First of all, I'm not saying I'm a social democrat here. I'm saying exactly what I told Deprogram, which is that I think in the interim, we must move towards a social democratic style governance because I'm a democratic socialist. And then that's obviously not going to be enough. But of course, hold on one moment. In that conversation, I admit to what my political position is to him. But it's not just that. I want to show you something.
Towards a Sweden-style economy or a Norway-style.
What's that back there in the way that this is disingenuously cut? Why did he cut it like this? It's weird. Is it because there was is it because he had to punch in a little bit? It just would have been weird if he actually had punched in. Or is it because you see some things in the background here that would directly contradict his argument that he's trying to make? The argument that he's trying to make is that I'm hiding what my political perspective is. Oh my God, is that Vladimir Ilyich Lenin? A man who I admire? A man who I talk about quite a bit? No way. That's crazy. But wait, what? Perhaps whoever clipped this would realize that it would look really fucking stupid if the USSR Ushanka and Vladimir Lenin was right behind me when he's trying to make this argument that I'm disingenuously acting as though I'm some social democrat. Again, the question remains. Did Ethan do this deliberately, or was it a happy accident, or is he actually, nefariously doing little things like this to craft a fucking argument? Okay? I don't know. Yeah. By the way, here's Lenin on anti-Semitism. My goat. A video that I use all the time to describe to people that their enemy is not the Jews. Their enemy is capitalists. But here...
Царская полиция в союзе с помещиками и капиталистами устраивала еврейские погромы. Ненависть измученных нуждой рабочих и крестьян помещики и капиталисты старались направить на евреев. И в других странах приходится видеть нередко, что капиталисты разжигают вражду к евреям, чтобы засорить.
He says capitalists, just like in Tsarist Russia, develop enmity towards the Jews to make the uneducated hate the Jews, to make it seem as though the Jews are responsible for all of their problems. But we know that Jews are not the problem. Jews are working class just like we all are, to divert their attention from the real enemy of the working people, capital. Okay? Hatred towards the Jews persists only in those countries where slavery to the landowners and capitalists have created abysmal ignorance among the workers and the peasants. Only the most ignorant and downtrodden people can believe the lies and slander that are spread about the Jews. This is a survival of ancient feudal times, where when the priests burned heretics at the stake, when the peasants lived in slavery, and when the people were crushed and inarticulate. This ancient feudal ignorance is passing away. The eyes of the people are being opened. It is not the Jews who are the enemies of the working people. The enemies of the workers are the capitalists of all countries. Among the Jews, there are working people, and they form the majority. They are our brothers who, like us, are oppressed by capital. They are our comrades in the struggle for socialism. They are our comrades. Among the Jews, there are kulaks, exploiters, and capitalists, just as there are among the Russians and among people of all nations. The capitalists strive to sow and foment hatred between workers of different faiths, different nations, and different races. Those who do not work are kept in power by the power and strength of capital. Rich Jews, like rich Russians, and the rich in all countries, are in alliance to oppress, crush, rob, and disunite the workers. Shame on accursed Tsarism, which tortured and persecuted the Jews. Shame on those who foment hatred towards the Jews, who foment hatred towards other nations. Long live the fraternal trust and fighting alliance of the workers of all nations. That's my goat. I wonder if Ethan considers you showing this as permitting anti-Semitism in the community. No, this unironically is what I do all the time. Whenever someone is being anti-Semitic or behaving in a way where I'm worried about nascent anti-Semitism festering, I try to redirect their attention to the actual vectors of pressure in society that harm them. That is called agitative propaganda. That is precisely what Lenin was doing here as well. A way to de-radicalize people. Ethan considers that to be bad, except we don't even know if he considers that to be bad. He just basically fucking slapped this on and didn't even make any sort of like positive or negative commentary with it. He literally just posted it and assumes that you will be scared when you hear the words that are coming out of my mouth. He is using the stupidity of the argument. He's using the racism of the audience and the stupidity of the audience to go, see, scary guy. And unfortunately, because we are dominated by that same stupidity that Lenin was talking about here, the same ignorance that Lenin was talking about here, those akin to the ancient feudal times, as a matter of fact, as we have become medieval fucking peasants. Unironically, he uses that to foment hatred towards someone like myself because he's worried that I'm making him look bad, making him feel bad. In his mind, it must be I, the scary propagandist that actually broke the brains of so many people in his audience, and that's why they fucking came to this conclusion that he's pro-Israel, and not because of all the fucking shit that he's said.
Lighter form of propaganda
with robust social safety.
Seem a lot of like young.
Here.
That's what
liberal communities. I don't know. Do you use the word liberal? I'm not even sure how to describe it. But like left leaning.
Yeah, I wouldn't even consider. I don't consider myself a liberal, but in the American political lexicon, I guess like I'm super liberal. That's what they. That's what Americans think liberalism is. Like the more left you are, the more liberal you are. Even though there is a genuine distinction between the leftist and the liberal, but yeah, I'm progressive. I guess that's the catch-all term.
I like progressive.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to be progressive? It's in the name. We're progressing.
Progress.
Yeah. Well, that's why like early stage classical liberals who like wanted to rebrand. Like Dave Rubin, for example, who now are very openly on the right and like everyone knows it. They originally tried to say like they're the real progressives and that the people who brand themselves as progressives, people like myself, they were actually regressive.
Regressive.
This is the first ever conversation that we had. And you know what's crazy about this? This is the first ever conversation that we had, right? What's wild is if you go back to this convo, you will hear in so many different instances where I describe like how ISIS radicalization has taken place, how radicalization took place after 9/11, how America actually played a formative role in why 9/11 happened, because Ethan was charitable in this circumstance. And also, not only is this conversation so fucking stupid when you look back at it and he goes, well, the only thing I extracted out of it was that he said we must move towards social democracy, which doesn't mean that I'm a social democrat. It just means we must move towards social democracy in the short term, something that I have described to him a million times over between this fucking interview and the goddamn context nuke where we had a fucking political show together for literally 2 years. Who are you lying to? And what's so sad about it is that I'm sure there were people who watched this and then showed it to their fucking dumbass friends who don't know anything and were like, you see, this guy is really bad. Please don't watch him. Why? Because my favorite content creator is hurt by this man. Anyway, we have the ISIS radicalization and radicalization in general at 1:15. I'm gonna get to that in a little bit. Hold on. Or how
Muhajir.
No, I bailed on all my friends because I'm fucking invested in this and I want to do it by myself. I'm sorry. But we fundraised a lot, so we're going to continue.
Cold radicalization funnel, catch them while they're young, as they say.
We're almost at
and
145,000.
for workers, like higher unionization rates.
A lighter form, while simultaneously still doing agitated propaganda that goes beyond social democratic ideas.
Hell, he's proclaimed it loudly that he is a self-described propagandist.
I'm a propagandist.
Well, no.
For the record.
I'm not calling
I'm
you
a
that. I'm just saying. I'm going to play you.
I'm saying I am.
Okay. Well, then I want to.
I'm saying I am.
I just want to.
Is there any point where Ethan will describe why this is bad? Or is he just going to fucking lean on, well, propaganda is a scary term. It means like you're fucking spreading false narratives. Propaganda is just... Propaganda can be bad. Propaganda can be good. Okay? Agitated propaganda is good. I know it's a scary word for a lot of people, but it means telling a story. PR is propaganda. Marketing is propaganda. Okay?
Or you even play it.
A propagandist is much more than someone with a bias. It's someone who knowingly lies to further...
That's not true. Oh my God.
...their political agenda.
And then I had a terrifying vision. Had I been duped? Was Hasan presenting a Trojan horse to my community, where he was just a left-leaning Democrat like myself, and as he said in the previous video, was funneling them into radicalization and turning them against me?
Liberals are some of the... oh my God, he literally thinks, he actually fucking thinks that I groomed him and his audience He wants to believe this so bad. Oh God, you are so pathetic, Ethan. You are such a pathetic, selfish little man who has been babied by every single adult in your fucking life because none of them have the courage to tell you what's what. Okay? In the interest of the friendship that we once had and the fucking the collaborative nature of our relationship initially, I am going to tell you once again, the people in your life are behaving like sycophants. You are basically going down the reverse Kanye trajectory. Not saying that you're, anti-Semitic and a neo-Nazi like Kanye is, but you are falling down a very dangerous pipeline here where you are surrounded by people who are terrified to tell you the truth. It is not an accident that so many of the wonderful coworkers that I had when I was there have left the fucking broadcast. It is not an accident that you constantly find yourself having to button because you can't control your fucking urges. Please, literally go back to therapy. You have to go back to therapy. You have to drop all of this shit. I know right now you have... with the increased attention that you've gotten, you feel like a lot of people are paying attention to you. They are lolcowing you. They are stringing you along. Their agenda is not to become loyal fans of yours, okay? They're not going to be Teddy Fresh purchasers. They're not going to be the foot soldiers. And if you keep going down this dangerous path, you're going to lose the remainder of your fan base, the girly pops that still ride for you, that still die for you, by surrounding yourself with some of the most reactionary elements. Oh my God. Oh. Easiest to manipulate people on the fucking planet, dude.
I learned how much he hates liberals.
Dude, I learned how much he hates liberals. This is me talking about how easily duped liberals are by right-wing commentary, you dumb fuck. Not how easily duped liberals are by left-wing commentary. I wish liberals were so open-minded to leftist commentary. This is unironically clips throughout time of me consistently saying, I hate how much liberal Democratic politicians and sometimes liberals who ride or die for the Democratic Party fall to the mercy of right-wing propaganda. You are literally proving why I fucking hate liberals. You are personally proving why Martin Luther King wrote about the moderate white who stands in the way of progress. That is literally what it is. Liberalism is the reason why we have Trump right now, because liberals fell to the mercy of right-wing propaganda and basically recrafted their entire campaign, redesigned it around pinpointing a bunch of mythical Republican voters that were going to magically come and vote for Kamala Harris. And look at the fucking country now, okay? Your dangerous allegiance with some of the most reactionary forces on the internet is unironically the point that I'm making. That is the reason why people say cut a liberal and a fascist bleeds. Oh my God. I hate liberals, dude. I do. I hate them. I hate them so viciously.
Did he secretly despise me this whole time?
I'm sorry, dude. I hate liberals so much. Let me see from context clues what this was about. Dude, I want to know if I have the actual full context here. Hold on. Like in any of these. How the fuck does he make everything about him? Yeah, he put conspiracy music over this, over a sequence of clips of me literally talking about how liberals are so easily duped by right-wing commentary to make it seem like I'm saying liberals are so easily duped by me, a dangerous leftist. I wish that was the case. Holy shit. Oh my God. Hold on. Let me see. I have to pee so bad, but I literally am locked in, dude. I'm so laser focused, okay? I'm so goddamn dialed in, you don't even know. Also, we're at $146,000. Keep those donos coming. Folks, keep those donos coming. Okay? Ay, ay, ay. Where is it? Let me see.